Pirates are evil, the Navy is just. But that's only true because history tells us so. Children who've never known peace have different values than children who've never known war. The one who wins will rewrite the definition of right and wrong. They'll decide the future and how the past is written. Will justice prevail? Why, there's no other way! The winner will define the meaning of justice!
You heard what I said and then called me a liar. Now you refuse to believe what I've shared. Your mind may not want to accept these revelations. But inside you there's a voice saying, accept it, it's the truth. Soon you'll know. Time will help. I feel sorry about your confusion, but this world's never really been about truth or lies. In this world, there's only one thing that's worth knowing. Hard facts. Despite this universal truth, people misguidedly choose to only accept the facts that appeal to their way of thinking. They're so limited, they can only accept the truths that are comfortable for them. So, this is simply about wanting to hang on to your personal power. Realizing things may not have been as we accepted them to be unsettles us. It's overwhelming. Are you absolutely sure that you know the truth?
You think you can get away with being as violent as you want if you say it's for the sake of others. Well, you know what, All Might? That pisses me off. Why do people get to decide that some violent acts are heroic and others are villainous? Casting judgment as to what's good and what's evil. You think you're the symbol of peace? You're just another government-sponsored instrument of violence. And violence always breeds more violence. I'll make sure the world understands that once you're dead.
I must admit, it never ceases to amaze me how brainless you can be. You've lost your weapon. Why are you just standing there? Ichigo! What's the difference between a king and his horse? What the hell are you saying? And I'm not talking about obvious stuff, like one's an animal and one's a person, or one has 2 legs and one has 4. Form, ability, and power! That's what's puzzling! If their form, ability, and power are exactly the same, why is it that one becomes the king and leads them into battle, while the other becomes the horse and carries the king? So what's the characteristic that distinguishes these 2 beings? There's only one answer. Instinct! In order for identical beings to get stronger and gain power, they need to develop a killer instinct. And that instinct is mostly forged in battle. They must develop an insatiable hunger to engage in battle. They must live to mercilessly crush, shred, and slice their enemies. This thirst for power is not an unnatural desire. In fact, it forms the very essence of our being. Deep within our body lies the honed instinct to dominate and slaughter our enemies. My friend, you don't have that! You use your brain to try and win a fight! You attempt to defeat your enemies with reason and logic. You don't tap into those pure-based instincts that exist within your core, waiting to be released! And the simple matter is it doesn't work! You're weak! Ichigo! I won't put up with that. Am I clear? I don't know about Zangetsu, but I refuse to play horse to a king who's weaker than me. Someone whose uncertainty and hesitation will end up getting us both cut to pieces! If you aren't willing to assert your strength and retain the crown, then I'll destroy you. Which means, I'll be king.
What is your Garou?
Why don't you be the monster? Why don't you be the monster?
It's not like I didn't want to be the monster. It's it's because the game itself just felt so incredibly one-sided and unfair. Heroes and Monsters is just a game of pretend based on kids' TV shows. Everyone's free to choose what role they play. But me, I was friendless, always with a dark cloud above. Everyone knew who the hero was going to be. I didn't stand a chance in hell. Naturally, there was no scenario where the monster would ever win. I was always the loser. The popular kid always beats up the little guy that no one likes. That's just the way the world works. Screw justice. And screw evil, too. I'm gonna be killed simply because that's what everyone else wants? It's not fair. I can't stand it. It pisses me off. All I want is to make them understand. I'm here to fight for underdogs everywhere. Good, evil. I reject them both.
使用せゲノーマ
I still have time to revive those I killed since I arrived in the Leaf Village. It's the least that I can do for them. War inflicts death, injury, and pain on everyone. The truth is, the more precious someone is to us, the harder it is for us to accept that they might die. Sometimes you actually convince yourself there's no way they could die. This naivete can't be helped, especially with a generation like yours. A generation that does not know war. You might try to find meaning in war, but all there is loss and unbearable pain. All that senseless death. It unleashes a cycle of violence and hatred that never ends. War creates only more war. And those are the things you will face in the coming days, Naruto.